Hi, welcome to week number 2. The title for this week, or the theme for this week, is the role of finance in strategic planning. So here's the expectations, and this will be pretty consistent week to week, especially after this first week is completed, that you'll read the assignment feedback that I give you in correlation with your grade carefully. Take it to heart. Be sure you're doing a fine job, but formatting is a big deal in order to communicate properly what you know, what you're trying to express. So that's really important in this class. And manage your time. The workload is not the same week to week, so you really have to manage your time. So this is why I'm putting out these videos ahead of time, so that you can get a running start at some of the weeks, and especially in the months that we're in, people are very busy, as always. So take advantage of it, but you do have to manage your time carefully. How can a business integrate financial information in strategic planning? Well, suffice it to say that financial information is absolutely and utterly vital to strategic planning. Big picture planning, where are we headed? And the financial data, even though it's historical, gives us a trend. So it's sort of like when you go into the doctor and they have a checkup for you, they'll give you numbers, right? Your cholesterol, your heart, whatever else they're going to check. All right, that gives you a snapshot indicator of your health at that particular moment, and maybe the trend line as far as where you're headed to in the future. Now, they're not telling you that the future is certain, but given where you're at right now, this is how things are looking. So that's essentially what financial data is too. It shows the relative health of an organization. But understand, though, it's a snapshot in time. Past performance is not an absolute predictor of future performance, good or bad. Also understand this KPI, key performance indicators, you'll see that in business writing a lot of times. They're going to be different for different types of businesses or different ways that they run. For example, if you have inventory, you might be a key performance indicator might be inventory turns, how quickly you sell your inventory and replenish it, your service levels. Inventory is a brutally important thing to manage if you're buying things, you're making things to resell. Services are a little bit different. There it might be number of clients, how you're turning potential clients into long-term customers, because services you cannot store. So they're not going to be in inventory turn ratios and things like that. Now there's going to be other financial ratios, which I'll let you read about and things, but understand they're not identical for every kind of business. They will, however, be indicators that would be consistent within an industry. Okay, so it's sort of like, if you're a man or a woman, you're going to have different key performance indicators in your health, in your numbers and things, because just biological differences. Okay, the assignments. There's a group paper this week, week number 2, corporate leader. Research and define the qualities of strategic leaders. Now, you notice I've got these points bulleted. Okay, I've broken up the assignment into its essential components. I want you to always, like I've given you examples in the announcements, of formatting these with, and this is going to be true of every assignment, the question in bold. So identify a biblical figure and incorporate their leadership style and values. That's a bold heading. Your answer follows underneath in a regular font. So it's going to be question, answer, question, answer, question, answer. Break these up. And the reason for this is it's much easier to follow your writing, and it becomes much more simple and manageable for you to have consistent thoughts and to account for everything in the assignment, so you don't eliminate or miss part of it. So now, biblical figure, that's up to you. Okay, there's tons of them, no shortage of that. So do a little research, have some fun with this. It's kind of a fun assignment, actually. Specify the corporate leader and how these qualities enhance corporate strategy. So what are the qualities of this figure that they're going to enhance strategy, looking into the future? So think basic here, big picture. Examine the structure and policies of the corporation and contrast. So you want to have corporate and then biblical leaders' influence. So There's going to be a heading of corporate structure and policies. Examine those. You're going to little details about that, a paragraph or two. And then biblical leaders' influence. You're going to contrast. You're going to compare and contrast. Clearly identify both those sections. This is a group assignment, so you need to work with your team member or members. Everybody's name's got to be on this document so that I know everybody participated. So one submission per group. Reflection paper number 2, the role of finance in strategic planning. I'm not going to read you the first bullet point, but 2 to 4 page paper. It's all right for you to do this single spaced because it's just a lot less scrolling for me, quite honestly. Not that I'm that lazy, but it's just quicker. So a 2-page double spaced paper is actually a 1-page single spaced paper, just for reference point. Anyway, so here's the main question. How can businesses integrate financial information in strategic planning? Okay, I'm not going to answer that for you because you need to, but you want to think about that. You're going to make decisions, long-term, big picture decisions. How does financial data or information feed into that or integrate into that? Be sure to demonstrate an understanding of the key performance indicators useful in conducting a financial review. Okay, and there's lots of reading for you and endless amounts of information about those things. The purpose is to elaborate the importance of careful financial review in planning. So again, put the questions in there and, break your paper up that way and life will be good. Biblical discussion. These are kind of, I think, really interesting things. There's no right or wrong answer here. It's just be thoughtful. So Proverbs 18:13 is to answer before listening. That is folly and shame. Or, in other words, think before you talk. Don't go off half-cocked. There's lots of phrases that kind of pull from this. But you think about this in a context, always answer these in context of, or at least in an awareness of strategic thought and strategic planning. Week 2 discussion, financial health. Okay, develop and share a brief business plan for a corporation demonstrating specifically how financial health is a significant factor, Use either a corporation with which you're familiar, okay, you might have worked for them currently, previously, or you just like them, you're interested in it, and you can get the data, or a fictional corporation called NewCo. So make sure you identify this clearly. Okay, so cite one article from a reliable source to support the importance of financial health to a corporation. So this is not the biggest assignment in the world, but you want to be thoughtful about this. And then, as always with discussions, respond to at least 2 other threads with meaningful replies. Simple agreement or disagreement is not sufficient. So there you go. That should get you going in this, our second week. Manage your time. If you got questions, please let me know. Go get them.